Hello everyone. We're on the downhill slide. Last couple assignments to go. So woohoo! Getting near the end. All right, here we go. So in the last couple weeks, you guys have been using this equation. It's called slope-intercept form because there's the slope and there's the y-intercept. Just a quick reminder. That's the y-axis. That's the x-axis. The y-intercept is where you're crossing the y-axis. And the slope, as you know, is the slope. Which was, whoops, why I chose M, I had no idea. Oh, why I chose Y. Slope is M. Slope was rise over run. And you've got also another equation for it. It was y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Those were the definitions for slope. We didn't need that in the last couple of weeks because they tell you the slope. And the first thing you did was you wrote the equation with the slope. You don't know the y-intercept. You have to find it. They tell you a point, and remember that's an x, that's a y, and there is a y, and there's an x. And you just fill those numbers in to solve for b. So to do it, you'd have 3 is equal to 2/3. There's no math symbol in between the 2/3 and x, so what that means is that there's a multiplication symbol there. Times what your x value is, -1 plus b. So you have 3 is equal to -1 times 2/3 is -2/3 plus b. Let me scroll this down just a little bit, give some more room. I want to solve for b. You're adding a -2/3, so to move the 2/3 or the -2/3 to the other side, I have to add 2/3. You don't need your calculator for this. 3 plus 2/3 is 3 2/3. There's your y-intercept. That's where you're crossing the y-axis. So to write your final answer, y is equal to 2/3 x plus your y-intercept, your value for b, 3 2/3. Okay. So what's new this week is that you're not told the slope. Let's go back and look. You were told the slope and a point. This week, what's new? Whoops. Wait, that was from last week. You're not told the slope, so you have to find the slope. And to find the slope, I wrote the equation on the other side. It's y sub 2 minus y sub 1, capital Y, over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. All right, I'm a creature of habit. I'm going to write one above the other. Doesn't matter which one you put above the other. I'm just going to write 5/3 underneath. And what that does for me is it lines up the y values and it lines up the x values. My suggestion for you is that you write this first without the variables. Put the subtraction signs there. You guys know me well enough. I'm so prone to making arithmetic errors based on signs. So writing this helps me keep track of the signs. Now all I have to do is put the y's on top, and I'm going to go top down. So -1, 3, and then top down, -5, 5. And then take care of business. -1 minus 3 is -4. -5 minus 5 is -10. If you need to type those in your calculator, do it. I'd love it if you guys could do it without, but if you need to, just type the top and type the bottom separately to get these numbers. Now remember, when you have a fraction and there's a negative on the top and the bottom, that becomes positive. And you have to reduce the fraction, which reduces to 2/5. Now how did I do that? I could see that each of these are divisible by 2, which gave me the 2/5. Now, back to this. If you need to flip it back to the previous screen, what you guys did is when you had a point and a slope, that's the process you went through. Well, on this, we have a slope and we have 2 points. Well, which one do I use? Well, let me show you. We know that we want to use this. We know the slope is 2/5. Y is equal to 2/5 x plus b. Let's try using this point first. There's an x, there's a y. I'm going to fill them in. -1 equals 2/5 times -5. I'm going to put it over 1 so it matches a fraction, plus b. Is it mandatory you put this over 1? No, it's just sometimes it's helpful. When the number is the same diagonally, they cancel out. And it leaves a 1 in the place here, but it's a -1 that's left there. So let me do that again. 2/5 times -5 over 1. These cancel, but when this one cancels, it's a 1. That one cancels the -1. If you would rather, you can take a calculator, and when you multiply fractions, excuse me, you multiply straight across. So that's -10 over 5, which reduces to -2. And here I hadn't finished because I haven't multiplied straight across. -1 equals 2 times -1 is -2. 1 times 1 is 1. Do I need to write it over 1? No, I don't. But what I want you to see is you get the same number. Okay? Scrolling it down. To finish, I need to solve for b. You're adding a -2. So to undo it, I'm going to add a +2. -1 plus 2 is 1. 1 is equal to b. So your final answer is y is equal to, slope was 2/5, x plus 1. Now that's the answer I got when I used this point. Well, how did I know to use that one? Well, let's try this one. Y is equal to 2/5 x plus b. I'm going to use this point this time. 3 is equal to 2/5 times your x value, which is 5. Again, I'm going to put it over 1 to help make multiplying easier, plus b. These cancel out. Again, if you don't like canceling, you can do it this way. Multiply straight across. 10 over 5, which is worth +2. These cancel out, so there's a 1 in their place. You can either do it by canceling, or you can do it by multiplying straight across and then reducing your fraction. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1 over 1, but you don't need to write it over 1. It would be redundant. You're welcome to, but there's no reason to. The b is still here. I'm adding a +2, so to get rid of it, I'm going to subtract 2. 1 is equal to b, so my final answer is 2/5 x plus 1. Whoops, plus. Notice these two are the same answer. So once you have your slope, it doesn't matter which point you pick. Whichever one you like better. I probably would have picked this one because the numbers are both positive. I find positive numbers easier to work with. But it's not going to make any difference which point you pick. Okay? Let's try another one. So, first thing you got to do is find the slope. It's the difference in the y's over the difference in your x's. I'm going to write this one underneath. It makes no difference which one you write on top and which one you write on the bottom. I'm going to draw the fraction bar and put the two subtraction signs in. And then I'm going to write the numbers in this order. -4, 6, -4, 4. -4 minus 6 is -10. -4 minus 4 is -8. Two negatives make a positive. Again, there's going to be a 2 that reduces out of this. 5 fourths. So when you go to write it, y is equal to 5 fourths x plus b. And this is the pattern you're working with. Y is equal to mx plus b. So I just filled in the slope I just found. Then you choose either of these two coordinates. You can't mix them. You can't take a number from this one and a number from that one. I'm going to choose these because the numbers are positive. If this one was negative, I'd probably still pick this one because there's only one negative. Okay, but it's not negative. Oh, sugar booger, I hit the wrong one. Okay, y is equal to mx plus b. What was it, 5 halves? Is that what it was? I'm sorry. So if I wrote 4, 6, negative 4, 6, negative 4, negative 4, how about positive 4? I'm trying to rush and I'm making all sorts of mistakes. Negative 10 over negative 8, so that's 5 fourths. So it wasn't 5 halves, it's 5 fourths. That's the button I was looking for. Okay. I'm sorry, you guys, take up your time. X, Y. Y is 6. 5 fourths times 4 plus B. And you can put this over 1. Those will cancel out. And you're left with 6 is equal to, there's a 1 here, 5 times 1 plus B. So that's 6 is equal to 5 plus B. To get rid of the 5, I'm going to subtract the 5 to the other side. So B is 1. So y is equal to, your slope was 5 fourths, x plus 1. That would be your final answer. Sorry for that mistake. Oh, by the way, this is one assignment for the whole week, so I'm just going to assign 15 problems. They're all the same type. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.